Hi, my name is Tommy Grant, and I'm a senior division leader with Park Lane Jewelry, and I'm super excited to be with you guys this evening and to talk about what Park Lane has to offer. As a matter of fact, there's something very specific that I want to share with you that recently happened to me, but I think it's super important to know how Park Lane will help you pivot in any situations. But first, let me go back. Let me tell you a little bit more about myself. I am a senior division leader again with Park Lane Jewelry. I've been with Park Lane for almost 2.5 years now. I started Park Lane at a time in life when I was at my busiest. I am retired military and I retired last year, but I started Park Lane in the height of COVID when, again, I was at my busiest. I was working super long hours. I was working 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I was on call and literally having meetings on Sunday afternoon with our generals and everything. And I was invited to a party that I didn't show up for. Let me add, I didn't even show up for the party. My friend who was hosting the party, she ended up just sending me a quick message saying, "Hey, are you gonna shop my party?" That was it. Because she was a really good friend, I was like, oh my gosh, let me purchase something. So I just went and found something to purchase. And then when I got the jewelry, I was blown away and amazed. And I knew that I was at a point in my life that I likely would be getting out the military within the next year or so. So for me, it was more of a making sure that I had, like, we called them civilian accessories, because I never wore jewelry in the military. So now it was, oh, now I need to start, getting girly. I need to start making sure I have all the things. So I decided to go to my friend's sister's party, and I ended up shopping a lot, to the point that Lindsay, who is still my mentor to this day, who was the stylist during the party, she was like, we're gonna have a party for you. She did not even ask me if I wanted to have a party. She said, no, we're gonna have a party for you. She saw something in me. She saw my excitement about the jewelry. She saw that I actually loved this and that this was a space that I needed at the time. And when we had my party, it ended up being so good. It was so fun. Just being online, I was able to just do this, and that was it. I was able to talk to people. I connected with friends I hadn't connected with in a while, because remember, this was during COVID. So actually getting the chance to talk to people was like amazing. And Lindsay, she ended up giving me, offering me this opportunity, which normally I would have said no. I would have said absolutely not, because I'm not a salesperson. That is how I look at it. I don't have time. I'm already super busy. I'm not a salesperson. Yeah. And I used to always say that. I was like, if I had to sell something in order to eat, then I would starve to death. And I'm not starving. You can tell I'm not starving. So Lindsay ended up saying, Tommy, just give it a try. And I think that was one of those pivotal moments for me. I know that was one of those pivotal moments for me, because I stepped outside bigly of my comfort zone. And I said, okay, what do I have to lose? I'm enjoying this. It's fun. Just something to add on. Yay. And oh, guess what? I get to keep this jewelry? You mean I can actually just get free jewelry? So basically, in my mind, I was just going to do this for a little bit and get my own jewelry. That was my thought process. It was just something fun. But being the person that I am, I also wanted to do all the things. So it's like, followed everything that she told me to do, and I did it. Boom. It's like, I need to have a couple parties, talking to friends who love you and appreciate you, because I didn't know how to do this. I'm like, how am I supposed to have a party? Just ask someone you know. Oh, okay. Hey, could you just do this for me? And they were like, yeah, we could do this for you. And that was it. I fell in love. It was so much fun. I made so many connections. And that was my original why. It was for the fun and the connection, and it was peace. And I say this while I was still super busy. This right here, it was not a time sucker. It was actually a energy. It gave me energy. It didn't take away from my energy. It literally gave me energy doing this, because it was the thing that I started looking forward to. I started looking forward to all the conversations that I would have with so many amazing women. So that was my initial story. And because of that, when you do something that you really enjoy, it ends up being magnetic. So I was very blessed to just start to attract people. Let me add, the number one thing I told Lindsay I wouldn't do, and that is I wouldn't build a team. I already was working where I had over 30 people under me, and I was like, oh, in my mind, I was thinking this is like supervising in the military, and I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Furthest from the truth. It was about being the people who ended up that I built my team with. They were my teammates. Did I help them? Yeah, of course. But it was me doing what I was already doing with the jewelry and everything else. So building the team with my teammates was phenomenal. It is, because we are all very like-minded. We all enjoy the jewelry. We love having fun. It is a collection of women who actually are just looking to build each other up and to make our lives better. And everybody has a different why, because guess what? My why actually shifted. Still embraced the community, but it wasn't my number one why anymore. When I did retire, and I ended up, let me just kind of skip forward. I ended up going and getting another position within the Space Force. So I think I still had that little fear that I needed something else. And I'm so glad that I did it. I actually did it for about a year. And I was still doing Park Lane part-time as my side hustle, I called it. But let me add, at this point, I was probably making, I don't know, I was making with Park Lane a little bit less than what I was making in my civilian job monthly at this point. So that part of me that felt like, wait a minute, you got to have a 9 to 5. I still hadn't gotten there where I didn't realize that this could be it. Like it all felt too good to be true. So what ended up happening is that I worked for about a year with the Space Force, and I'm so glad I did, because it solidified what I wanted and what I didn't want. And I realized that that was no longer for me, and I really wanted to work with my business and to hone it. And I finally got to the place where I realized I could do it, that this is a viable, real business. This is not a side hustle. It is a real business now. Don't get me wrong. It is amazing. Let it be that side hustle for you. Let it be that thing to give you that extra income if that is what you need. But if you are looking for more and you're like, hey, I really want to do this, it is possible, because you're looking at the girl that never sold a thing. And the people on our team, you also have people who they have been doing it for 5, 10, 15 years, that this is what they do. They've done it with several other different companies, right? So I realized that this is for me, and it has been amazing. Direct sales, again, not something I ever thought that I would want to be a part of or that I could ever do, but it has been the thing that I've needed. And I have a girlfriend who also, I have several friends. I have amazing friends that they're so creative, and they have their own businesses, and they do things within their own companies as well. And they were encouraging me to be that entrepreneur. They were like, hey, you need to find something. This is before I found Park Lane. My mind was telling me I had to do something they did. It's like, I don't have a Cricut machine. I'm not doing t-shirts. I can't make candles. I can't do those things. I'm not creative. I don't have a green thumb. I'm going to kill every plant. It's just not for me. And it wasn't until I actually found Park Lane that this became my creative lens, that I did not know that this could be that for me until I was in this space. So fast forward, I'm retired now, right? And I'm working Space Force and I'm not enjoying it at all. Which it was not, let me add, it was not the job, it was not the people, it was me. I was different. I wanted something different. And I decided to go for what I wanted different, and that is to work this full time. So earlier, several months ago, I left Space Force, actually in May. I left Space Force, and my son graduated from high school, and in June, guess what, guys? My story kind of takes another turn because it's only July now. Guess what happened? I ended up being hacked on Facebook, which is the primary place I run my business. I ended up having my Facebook page stolen by a hacker. And it wasn't the kind where it's like, oh, just go in and change your password. No, I couldn't go in and change my password. This person, within a matter of minutes, had locked me out, taken over everything. I could not get in. And unfortunately, I couldn't even get any help from Facebook either. So I did not have the ability to go in and to change anything at all. I still have my Instagram, and they were trying to get into that. I realized I messaged so many times. I sent so many emails. I uploaded my ID so many times to Facebook, and still nothing. Actually, still nothing right now. Still haven't received any response back. My Facebook is gone, and I had over 1,400 followers on that, and that is where I did it. And I had my own VIP page. So why am I bringing this up when it comes to learning more and being a part of Park Lane? It was all about the pivot, because my business, I have a very valuable business, and I wanted to make sure that it didn't stop, that it didn't slow down, even in the midst of this. I did have to take that deep breath, but what I did have, I had an amazing community of women, and from my upline to my immediate teammates, who they instantly jumped in and they started helping me. Have you ever been in a space where you had to get something done? And I have been. I've worked jobs where it's like, oh my gosh, I got to get this done. And it's like, ooh, good luck with that, right? Good luck. I hope that it works out for you. And I'm up working weekends and doing all the things, and I'm doing it by myself. This was not the case. I had my teammates from one of the sales vice presidents in my company giving me information, telling me where to go, from my senior or my executive company vice president calling and finding out, putting out posts from our senior executive saying, hey guys, Tommy's post, she's been hacked, putting out the word. They all jumped in, and they started doing everything they could to assist me and giving me ideas of things that I could do to instantly start building my business. I went one day without having a Facebook page, guys. And the next day, because that was my day of my poor me, I went through that. But the next day, guess what I did? I built another page. I built another page that I'm up to 550 people. Because remember, I told you this was in June. We're now in July. I'm still trying to get my original page back because, of course, I have all the memories and everything in it. But because of the tools we have here in Park Lane, I was able to jump right back in. I was able to instantly pivot and to start building up my page again. Thankfully, I had a VIP group that I wasn't the only person who was the admin in. It was my upline, Lindsay, the person I told you about earlier, as well as my teammate, Tara. They were also admins in my group, and they instantly pulled me back in, put the other person out who was acting as me, so that my VIP group didn't miss a beat. So I had to, a lot of people were like, what? Why is your name a little different? Because I changed my name, right? And I explained it to them. I explained to them what was going on. So I did not have to start from scratch. I didn't have to start at the very beginning and try to figure out what I need to do, because Park Lane, you have so many different tools to use. And on those days when I didn't have that, I'm like, okay, I got 10 people. I have 10 members. In that first week, which was the hardest, I ended up basically talking. I still have my jewelry. I have my jewelry. The number one thing that is amazing about jewelry is that, and you're going to hear this all the time, it is a consumable product, meaning it is super easy. People change out their jewelry. Everybody is going to want to know the latest. Well, what ended up happening is I put my jewelry on and I went places, and I still had people noticing what I was wearing. And they were like, oh my gosh, that is awesome. I really like that. And with Park Lane, I have my own website. So I was able to still share my website. I was still able to run my business, even though the place where I did 90% of my business had, I had a hiccup. I had a pause in it. I was still able to do something, and I was still able to see why I was able to build my business. It's because of this amazing product. With jewelry, we're able to walk and to be a walking advertisement. And not just me. I have someone I just added into my group, and they were like, oh, I saw it because so-and-so was wearing this. I want to be a part of your group. Great. This is what's so easy about jewelry. It is not like you're trying to sell a skincare regimen where you got to figure out, the person's colors or anything like this. It's just, girl, do you like these earrings? You want to try them on? Hey, you can try that on. Yeah, you love silver? Oh, I can show you several silver pieces. That is the beauty of jewelry. And the more, what's even more incredible is Park Lane. It is the amazingness of Park Lane, because I have people from teenage, I have a friend who's also an entrepreneur who has her business. I met her daughter recently because it's actually her daughter's company that they built together. And she was like, oh, this is Miss Tommi. Okay, hi. And then her mom, 16-year-old girl, you could tell her mom was like, yeah, I got this necklace from her. And she went from looking at her phone to looking at me. I instantly leveled up in her eyes, like, oh. And then she noticed what I was wearing. She's like, I like that necklace you have on. I said, do you? Oh, and I started talking to her about it. 16 years old, right? She loved it. But guess what? Not just a 16-year-old. Then we have the whole other spectrum, regardless of age, whether you're 16 or 60. Park Lane has something for you. Whether you love to wear delicates or you love a statement, Park Lane has something for you. Whether you like the stretchy bracelets or you like the cuffs, Park Lane has something for everyone. It is complete wide. It is not just one thing that Park Lane does well. Well, of course, we know there's an impression obsession within Park Lane, but there's not one thing that Park Lane does well. We do jewelry, period, well, all of it. And having a new line like we just got out, which is fire, it inspires the stylist, it inspires the customers, and it makes our job so much easier. So Park Lane, honestly, you bring the enthusiasm and you bring the commitment, and you can work this. You can absolutely work this. So I covered that. Now I wanted to talk about our customer programs really quick, because right now I am hosting with a mother-daughter-in-law. I always say daughter-in-law duo. This is what I mean about it spans ages and everything, and it builds that community. They decided to host together, and they have been having a blast, and they've blown it out the park. And what they're loving is that we have first, our customer program is like no other, right? When you have, listen, buy 2 of the lowest price items, get 4 half off every day. every single day. But I will not lie to you, on Thursday, my regular follow me customers, they're like, oh my gosh, it's a new Park Lane week. What is the extra? And they realize that 2 and 4 is amazing and they love having it. But they've also come to realize that Park Lane is going to do something else. And they know it's going to be a bonus. They know, oh my gosh, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get something that's $100 and something dollars. I'm going to get it for $30. Something that's almost $200. I'm going to get it for $30. And oh, by the way, I can do that twice. This is crazy. That is the beauty of Park Lane. It's the amazing customer sale. And then, of course, it's the hostess special. Like I said, I have a great mother-daughter duo right now. They're hosting and they are loving the fact that I'm like, guys, you're at 10 orders. We're not even going for 10. We're going for 20. Therefore, you both can have $400 shopping spree. And they're like, well, what's the catch? There is no catch. That is it. It is a $400 shopping spree for you ladies. Whatever it is you like. You can go back and you can get 4 extra things for half off. And you can also get that $30 bonus item for anything valued up to $200. You can do those things. But when we say, you mean I'm going to get to do a shopping spree for $400? Yes. It is like no other. And I've been in vendors events. I've been in several different things. And they are all amazed when I tell them, hey, this is what we do at Park Lane. It really, there's nobody else in the industry, and I'm just saying it because it's a fact. There's nobody else in the industry that does anything like that and definitely doesn't do it as well as Park Lane. Now, the other part, I told you guys I retired and everything, and it was the beautiful community that I wanted and needed. But once I retired and I decided to do this full time, the compensation became super important. Like, I needed that. The compensation was extremely important. So I ended up making sure that I worked to a level that I didn't miss a beat. Bottom line, I still ended up basically with Park Lane, I'm still making as if I was working in the military, because my pay got cut into a third once I retired from the military. And so to still be in a position where I can get, where I can still be compensated at a level that I'm able to still take care of my things as well as those extra things that I need, it is phenomenal. It's amazing, and I'm beyond appreciative of Park Lane. And I started as a fashion stylist. I started at 30%. And when I was about to say I started at the bottom, 30% is not the bottom, especially after I learned what other companies do. 30% is amazing. So I started getting a 30% commission, right? And then after promoting, within a year, I'm at 45% commission, 45 to 50% commission. That is where I am right now. And what I love is that you never go back. You will never, ever go back. Once you hit a particular rank or commission, you never, ever have to go back from that. So it is amazing. Awesome. So I'm very appreciative of that. And we love to make sure people understand that. And I started at the very beginning because I didn't have any experience, but Park Lane also has a direct appoint program, something that most companies don't have. I'm, again, still learning this, and that is that you can come in commensurate of what your rank was based on your experience. They reward experience. We actually have national directors you can talk to, and they will bring you in based on your experience. And it's not just, hey, guess what? I was this high in this other company, and therefore I need to be that high before. We've had people who've come in and said, yeah, I had a team of 8 or 9. Yeah, there was this many of us. And wait, what? You mean I can come in at another level? Like, I don't have to start over? Because, every month I have to start at the bottom again just to get up to 20%. And then the next month I have to start. No, Park Lane doesn't do any of that. And these are things that I learned because I was blessed to be here where it's like, no, like I would talk to people and I'd be like, no, we don't do that at Park Lane. Park Lane actually, starts you off with 30%. And they were like, well, no, what do you have to sell to get that? What you just have to work your business. There is no, we don't have a maximum minimum sale. Of course, you have to qualify as a stylist, right? And that's $1,000 just initially, which is so easy to do. But once you do that, you're 30%, period. Whatever else. And I'm like, no, we don't keep inventory. We don't do any of those things at Park Lane. It is phenomenal. And in addition to that, we have the Mercedes car program. Once you get into this program, you have the opportunity to actually invest in getting a Mercedes, or you get a bonus of $500 a month once you reach these, and they're very doable milestones monthly. $500. I usually get it 8 times out of the month. Only because I got hacked, I didn't get it in the last couple months. But I already know I'm on track to get it, especially going into the fall, because we are also have the other thing, and I'll wrap it up with this because I'm super excited about it. Right now, we've just started our trip earning period, and every program at Park Lane has been made to build upon the other. And it is so great because now we're at a trip earning period. We have a new line, and it is attracting more people, and it is causing, what that is causing is people to promote more. That is going to cause people to get that Mercedes program more, and it's going to cause us to be able to go on trips. And at these trips, we're going to this next trip, and I said we because I already believe I'm going to earn this trip, y'all. I already believe I'm going to earn it. But when we go on these trips, we end up being a group of hundreds of people. This is not just the top people. And guys, I'm not the rock star of all rock star when it comes to sell. I do well, but I'm not like the best. These trips are meant for everybody to earn. If you put forth that effort, and we work with you, we have amazing teams. We work a strategy. We have pacing partners because we all want to go on these trips together. And it is so doable. So I'm going to end with this. If you've thought about this for a while and you're still like, oh, Tommi, I don't know. I don't know if this is for me. It's okay to be in a place of I don't know. Guess what? Some things you have to do while you're still trying to figure out if it's for you. I did it. I had to go back and do a whole nother job to realize that this is for me. I had to start over several times to realize that this is really for me. So even if you're still hesitant, take that step while you're being hesitant. Go ahead and trust the process. Trust the stylist that invited you and decide to get more information. I always say this, what is the worst that can happen? You end up with just some pretty jewelry. That is literally the worst thing that can happen by joining and giving us a try. Okay, I hope you guys have an amazing evening, and thank you so much for being here. All right, bye.